Hello everybody, my name is Chris. I'm from the Zurich R&D Center. I'm product designer there, working for CityEngine. And I would like to share with you some thoughts, some stuff I'm currently working on and thinking about. That's mainly the topic urban design with CityEngine. So how can CityEngine be used for urban design? How can we support this whole process? And therefore, I would like to show you a little example project of a CityEngine user in the United States, and afterwards discuss a little bit this process he applied and what we could maybe, how we could improve CityEngine to better support this process. So it's a very non-technical presentation. I will not show any user interfaces and click around and stuff like that. So I hope this is okay for you guys. I hope not everybody here is a developer who is here an urban designer or is more on the conceptual side of the topic over there. Where do you come from?
I'm from Ecuador, but I work here in Zurich.
Okay. You work here in an architecture firm? Or?
Yeah, in Association of Architects.
Okay, cool. Other, I know Christian Hürzler from City of Zurich, of course. Somehow same, but the rest is all developers then? No. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Just try to, be interactive. Okay. So just very short urban design projects. How can we categorize them? There are many different types of urban design projects. First of all, they differ a lot by size. Site plan, for example, can show a situation of a couple of buildings up to a project that is for planning of a whole city district. On the other hand, it's a question of level of detail. So some projects just give guidelines how buildings should be built. Other projects give very detailed plans how the stuff should look like in the end. And there's always this question of design space. So is this kind of a greenfield project where stuff can be built from ground up, or is there existing infrastructure such as streets or historic buildings that need to be preserved? So these are kind of the dimensions in which urban design projects are situated. I will talk today about a project, a rather small project, a typical site plan project in the city of Oshkosh in Wisconsin. And this is about a new headquarter building for Oshkosh Corporations. Oshkosh is a large manufacturer of trucks and heavy machinery. Is also working a lot for defense industry. And they came to the point where they said, that's the left guy. We need this new HQ building so that we can attract the workforce we need in the future. And they also stated that they are also looking in other cities than Oshkosh. And this meant for the city councillor of Oshkosh that he really has to take initiative and come up with a proposal so that Oshkosh can stay in the city. And so he commissioned Hausial and Lavigne Associates to come up with a site plan for this new HQ building so that the city of Oshkosh can convince the community about the project. So these are some images about the site that they wanted to use. This is a golf course at a very nice location with a lot of water around it. On the right side, you see some single-family houses, And this here is the large golf court with a lot of green area. And over here, the highway, that is very important for this new headquarters, so that they have good access to the airport. At the beginning of all of those projects is always a set of requirements from different stakeholders. These are just the most important ones. Oshkosh Corporation looking for a wow factor building, has some requirements about parking space and floor area. And the city has requirements regarding accessibility of the waterfront for the public and preservation of the nature there. So then in a very first step, this urban design studio came up with this. This is a very basic plan made with a pencil, with some colors, and it gives a rough idea where streets could be located, how the different areas are partialized, and what the use of them could be. So this would be the headquarter. This is an additional area so that where they could later expand the headquarter. Over here you see those single family houses that should stay where they are and they are not touched. And over here is a large commercial area. And as you can see here, this green belt around this is the access, the public access to the waterfront. So this is a very basic idea how this urban design could look like, and it's all done with pen and paper basically. Some tracing paper on a printout, and this is what the studio presented to the customer, to the city of Oshkosh in a very first step. And this was then discussed, and in a second step, a more detailed plan has been created. As you can see, this is still two-dimensional. Now the roads are a bit different. The areas are a bit different, more detailed, so that non-plan readers can also understand what's going on here. Already some ideas how the buildings could look like. But again, this is all 2D, and maybe this is done in Photoshop with a Wacom tablet or something, but there's no 3D at all at this stage. And then, actually, CityEngine came into play, and this whole plan now turned 180 degrees, is now made nice, right? This is what happened. This is what CityEngine has been used for. And this was quite surprising for me when I heard about this, and I had to think about that. So first of all, the good thing is that the Urban Design Studio is totally happy about CityEngine using in this project, because they were able to come up with these 3D visualizations in a very short time, and this was needed because of this background story. So the Oshkosh Corporation was looking for other areas, and it was important for the city to come up with good results after a very short time. So CityEngine is cool, totally cool. What is also quite interesting is that they used CityEngine to generate square footage numbers for future uses for those parcels. They also were able to derive numbers for the amount of kilometers of new roads that have to be built. And this is stuff that you can do very easily with CityEngine and is very hard to do with with other 3D modeling programs. So this is very cool. But on the other hand, I also asked him, yeah, okay, so now you created this very beautiful picture, and which parts of this picture, I go back, which parts of those pictures are now really mandatory, or what is really now, what of all this stuff here will really be built? And he said the only thing that is really kind of mandatory is more or less the street network. It's the size of the building, the footprints, but not the footprints in detail. So if this is L-shaped in this way or this way, it doesn't matter, can be different. And what is also kind of mandatory are the amount of how many was heißt, das ist mir das Wort gefallen. Floors, how many floors those buildings have, and the floor area as a whole. But all this other stuff that you see here, the little pathways here, the lakes, the greenery, this is all just for visualization. It's just to make this pretty and to make this very well sellable to the public. So this has nothing to do with the core design process, but with the stage of communicating your design. So again, this design process, the tools that were used, we have here this initial step, 2D, the program step, the concept step, 2D again. Here is already the maybe 80 to 90% of the core urban design process has been done here. And then we have the final stage of this planning process when details are refined after client feedback. And then for 3D visualization, we have the digital tools, CityEngine, SketchUp has been used. And in the end, for 2D, also for brushing up the pictures in 2D, Photoshop and Illustrators. And of course, here we have those key numbers that are generated. As I mentioned before, this is a very cool thing, but here there is also a lot of potential. And when we look now at the 3D visualization process in detail, this is nothing special. This is this is the classic use of CityEngine. You import, maybe it's a street network from OpenStreetMaps, or it's a hand drawing that you then trace manually. You then generate and place geometry in this street network. You make some parcels and blocks, and you have assets that you might use to do that. And then you have stuff that you add manually, and then you export visuals and numbers. That's what they did, at least. So what does that mean for us if we wanna, or what could this mean for CityEngine to become really the urban design tool of choice? I think one of the very interesting things is here, this topic here, design by numbers. And here I want to give a reference to Bruno. Yeah, over here, he will have a presentation tomorrow on his urban master. What is the name?
Master Planner, yeah.
Master Planner, your Master Planner tool, who really shows what this could mean in a very early design step. And this is a very interesting approach in how CityEngine could really reach into these very early phases of a design process. The other thing could be that we could think about supporting digital pens, allow digital drawing in CityEngine. This could be one way. But then the question is always, can we really beat pen and paper? That's really the power of this very basic tool and very direct tool. We won't be probably that direct, but maybe in combination with something like design by numbers, this could be an interesting way as well. And then we can also improve core use cases of CityEngine. So, for example, urban design specific CGA rules. Can we offer something like this, or analysis tools? We also started with visibility tools now. What about the shadow tool? Could that be interesting and make CityEngine more resourceful for urban design processes? And then, on the other hand, visualization. This seems to be really the very important output. At least it was in this project that I showed you. Is this one way to improve the rendering, or also think about game engines and stuff like that, stuff that we are already working on? Yeah, this is, as you can see, it's total different type of talk maybe, but I'm very happy that you guys took the time and listened to my thoughts, and I'm still here and around and very happy to hear from you what your feedback is about this, because you guys use this stuff and we build it for you. So if you have ideas and thoughts, come back to me. I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you.